नमस्कार. आयच्या डिबेटात तुमकां सगळ्यांक येवकार आनी विशय आसा तो OCI पासपोर्ट रिवोकेशन आनी सगळ्यांत म्हत्वाचें म्हळ्यार रिवोकेशन सर्टिफिकेट ही OCI घेवपा खातीर अप्लाय करपा खातीर यूज करपाक जाता काय कितें. दोन सर्क्युलरां आयलीं फाटल्या एक म्हयन्या भितर आनी दोनूय सर्क्युलरांचेर प्रचंड कन्फ्युजन आसा. कन्सिडर करतले म्हळ्यार नक्की कितें करतले. त्याच बरोबर हायकोर्टाची ऑर्डर आसा ह्या संबंधातली आनी म्हत्वाचें म्हळ्यार आज सकाळीं चीफ मिनिस्टरान स्टेटमेंट केलां की कन्सिडर करतले हाजर ती विड्रॉ केला अशी न्ही म्हण. सो कायदेशीर दृश्टींतल्यान लोकांच्या दृश्टींतल्यान प्रॅक्टिकल दृश्टींतल्यान हाजो अर्थ कितें हाजेर आमी आज भासाभास करतले. तीन मानेस आहा म्हजे बरोबर, दोन स्टुडियो. एक आमकां ऑनलायन जॉयन जातात. पयले गोंयांतले नामनेचे आदवोगाद जे आमकां ऑनलायन जॉयन जातात, एडवोकेट राधाराव ग्रासियस. राधाबाब वेलकम. दुसरे म्हाका स्टुडियो भितर जॉयन जातात गोंयांतले दुसरे नामनेचे आदवोगाद सिद्धार्थबाब सामंत. आनी तिसरे म्हाका स्टुडियो भितर जॉयन जातात जाणी स्वता ही OCIची प्रक्रिया केल्या आनी गोंयांतले नामनेचे आदवोगाद आनी एक्टिविस्ट एडवोकेट आयरिश रॉड्रिक्स. वेलकम ऑल थ्री ऑफ यू. राधाबाब, सुरवात तुमचे कडच्यान करता. हांवें पयर आमच्या एका प्रोग्रामा भितर प्रश्न विचारिल्लो की जे घडले तें ब्युरोक्रेटीक एक्सरसायज काय पॉलिटिकल एक्सरसायज का म्हणून. सो तुमी हाजे कडेन कशें पळयतात आनी वेर डू यू थिंक दिस इज गोईंग?
See, there was a notification dated 4th April 2024 by which the Union government said that revocation of passport will be considered as equivalent to surrender of passport for the purpose of issuance of OCI. And that matter rested at that. Now, just before the elections, now on 7th May, a news was circulated that the Union government is seeking to reconsider that circular, whether revocation should be considered as surrender for the purpose of OCI. Now, my feeling, looking at the timing, is that this was done to influence voters. That if you do not support the BJP, we may not consider revocation as surrender. That is my impression.
Okay.
But because of the timing. But even otherwise, I don't see how the passport officer has the power to revoke a passport on the ground that a person has obtained foreign citizenship. Because those powers are vested only in the central government and which have not been delegated to the passport officer. So there is a different authority to decide whether a person has lost his citizenship. And if that authority decides that X has lost his citizenship, thereafter the passport officer may revoke your passport and not grant you OCI. Or I will not say not grant you OCI, may revoke your passport.
So on that, Siddhartha, before I go to Irish Bab, तुम्ही या गजालीकडे राधा बाबाक एक दिसता की दिस वॉज प्युअरली पॉलिटिकल आणि तातूंतल्यानच हे जाला. आणि टायमींग जे आसा इलेक्शना पयलीं की पळय आमी हें केलां, जर तुमी सारकी वोट घालनात जाल्यार आमी कन्सिडर करतात. ते कन्सिडरेशन कॅन बी एनीथिंग. Whether the consideration was votes.
No. I'll come to that. First of all, पहिली गोष्ट म्हणजे जाणा जावन घेवपाक जाय की what is the difference or what is that has changed now. इतले वर्सां लोकांनी पोर्तुगीज सिटीजनशीप घेतली ना, घेतली. 1961 पासूनच ही गोष्ट सुरू जाली आणि लोकांनी ती घेतली सिटीजनशीप. Did they not get OCI का पहिली PIO आणि आता OCI कार्ड? They got. Is there a single person whose OCI has been rejected? Answer is no. आता कितें जाला, देर इज एन एक्ट कॉल्ड रजिस्ट्रेशन, नॅशनल रजिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ पोर्तुगीज सिटीजन इन देर. आता तातून वचून लोकांनी आपले रजिस्टर करून थंय वचून पासपोर्ट घेवन तोय पासपोर्ट दवरला आणि होय पासपोर्ट दवरला. आफ्टर टेकिंग सिटीजन्स ऑफ पोर्चुगल दे आर ट्रॅव्हलिंग ऑन इंडियन पासपोर्ट्स. सो देरफॉर ऑल दिस, when Portuguese as a nation, country started sharing this data, it came to the light of Indian government that lot of people are holding both passports. So what was the duty cast on the person who has acquired foreign citizenship? To surrender the passport. Did they do it? No. What was the alternative left for Indian government? To revoke the passport. Now revocation of a passport comes as a disqualification for you to obtain a PIO or a OCI card. Now on sympathetic ground, because see, ultimately they have done it under ignorance. They did not have any malice. It's not that they are terrorists. It's not that they are threat to the nation. It's not that they are engaged in some illegal activities. So if whatever according to Act section error or 12(1)(a असा पळय, under that तांकां एक I think 10,000 कितें तरी up to 50,000 तो फायन जाता. तो तितलो घालून revocation order should be treated as a surrender, because एक certificate, unless you provide a surrender certificate, there is no question or case for you to obtain an OCI. Therefore, that revocation order should be considered as surrender order. म्हणून एक plea people made to the government, which is under consideration. Now we will come. आधी पयली election and election हे इलेक्शनाच्या पयली केल्ले. Suppose government wanted to garner votes under this, then they would not have come out with a corrigendum on 30th April. They would have come after 7th of April, 7th of May.
7th of May.
The fact that they came on 30th, now which saying, if you are talking about BJP, you are undermining their intelligence. If this was the consideration, then this 30th April circular would never come on 30th, it would have come on 8th. So, if fact that they have come out on 30th April, why would they damage their own case? If this is the election gimmick, why would they expose themselves before the elections are over? So, therefore, it is quite clear that this was not an election stand. It is under consideration. Now, look out a situation. What I feel, look out a situation. Only for Goa there can be an exception. There would be so many people who have taken so many citizenship of so many different countries. So there also the passport is revoked, and revocation is not only for minor default or having not surrendered. There could be various reasons. What do? Can you carve out a difference? So therefore, to take a holistic, I'm sure that must take time.
सिद्धार्थ प्रश्न हुआ की पहिली इशू कित्याक जाल्ले आणि मागीर होल्डार कित्याक गेले.
No. April 4 memorandum said that this is under this revocation order would be taken. Now it only says that it is under consideration.
Not a rejection.
It is not rejected.
Yeah. Okay. हांव बारीकसाणी भितर या. बट आयरिश बाब, तुम्ही या प्रक्रियेंतल्यान गेल्यात, तुम्ही आज वेगवेगळ्या देशांनी भोंवतात. तुमकां ही जेन्ना कॉन्ट्रोवर्सी तुम्ही पळयतात तेन्ना व्हॉट इज युअर इनिशियल ऑब्झर्वेशन?
In fact, Pramod, there has been enough discussion and debate on this issue. And once this issue was resolved by the central government, by that first notification, everyone felt that it was right that this issue is for once and all laid to rest. I'm sure that the controversy that has erupted now should be resolved. The government should take a holistic view, think of the public interest, respect the request and demand of the local people, and this issue can be laid to rest by allowing the revocation certificate to be used as good as a surrender certificate. And people should not be denied OCI. It's unnecessary stress for the people, and I'm sure the Honorable Chief Minister will take this initiative and take this initiative with the central government to put this issue once and all for rest.
बट तुम्ही जेन्ना प्रॅक्टिकल डिफिकल्टी आता तुम्ही त्याला आयरिश बाब पळयतात तेन्ना डू यू थिंक जे पयली सर्क्युलर आयिल्ले दॅट इज द मोस्ट प्रॅक्टिकल सोल्युशन टू ease the hardship?
Yes, in the given circumstances. In the given circumstances, for whichever reasons this revocation has been done, some people were not aware, so that they had to surrender or whatever. So once this initial circular was issued by the central government, I think they should come to a decision now and solve this issue once for all.
राधा बाब, सिद्धार्थ बाबाचा आर्ग्युमेंट हो असा, तुमचं त्यांचे बाकीचे आर्ग्युमेंट ऐकलंय की दिस इज दे आर नॉट विड्रॉन द सर्क्युलर, दे आर जस्ट सेइंग दॅट वी आर स्टील कन्सिडरिंग इट. सो वाय आर यू फाइंडिंग की आता भितर आनी कितें तरी आसा म्हणून?
See what happens. The law is they have already issued a notification, and now suddenly just for election they say we are reconsidering. So therefore, I have a right to think that this is another of the BJP jumlas. See, we have all seen BJP has been having so many gimmicks. 15 lakhs were offered. So many things were done. So obviously, there is no reason why with the code of conduct in force, the government must suddenly say we are reconsidering. So my view is that it may have been done to force the voters to support BJP or face a situation where revocation will not grant you a OCI. But let me go further. See what happens now. There is the United Nations Convention on Stateless Persons, to which India is not a signatory. Now, the UNO does not acknowledge that a country must render a citizen stateless. Now, in this case, what happens if the government considers that a Goan who transcribes his birth in Portugal, becomes a Portuguese citizen, and revokes his citizenship before he acquires a Portuguese passport, he is left stateless. Now, it is a situation that the government must consider. You cannot consider citizens as stateless. At least, once you find that there is such a situation, require that person to obtain Portuguese passport, after which you may revoke the Indian passport. Today, merely because you have transcribed your birth in Portugal, you are holding him to be a Portuguese national. Now, on this, I would want to go a little further. As I have said, under our constitution, under Article 9 of our constitution, you lose your Indian citizenship if you voluntarily acquire foreign citizenship. Now, in this case, there is no voluntary acquisition of foreign citizenship because the Portuguese government or the Portuguese law recognizes those born before 20th December 1961 as Portuguese nationals. So there's no question of any one of us seeking Portuguese nationality. If I seek one, I will be a citizen of Portugal under Article 7 of their organic law by naturalization. None of us seeks registration Portuguese nationality by naturalization. We are their citizens by an operation of process of their law. Now, this is a very unique situation because of the unique circumstances under which Goa became part of India. So this also has to be considered because none of us voluntarily acquired citizenship.
Radha, तुम्ही जे म्हणतात तुमका दिसता की the first circular that came, that should be considered, that should be made a permanent practice.
See, that is currently the law because that has not been set aside. All that has been said, we are considering coming in with something else. There is already a judgment of our High Court dated 6th of May this year, wherein Justice Mahesh Sonak and Valmiki Menezes have held that that particular circular is valid, and based on that, revocation has been held to be surrendered. Now that will stand as the law until the central government changes the law. I honestly do not expect the central government to change the law because of one particular factor. See, we have seen that this government is Gujarat-centric. Everything is going towards Gujarat. When the interests of Gujarat are involved, nothing is done that will hurt them.
Okay.
Now, if you see this year, 74,000 Indians have been apprehended on the US border with Mexico who are trying to illegally enter into Spain, into USA. Many more have entered, but 94,000 have been apprehended. A vast majority of them are either Gujaratis or Punjabis. And a vast majority of the Gujaratis are Patel. And the BJP government has put up a huge statue of Vallabhbhai Patel. And if his community is running away, I do not think the the Modi government will do something that will help.
You are heavily relying on the geographical bias.
Yes, of the government, yes.
That was my Siddhartha, that is Radha Kalla, that was my next question. Ki ata High Court order 6 May haji राहिली based on the earlier circular. What happens to that now, Siddharth Bhav? Because now that is
order stands.
Consider केली, सरकारान submit केली, ताजेर order राहिली.
Order stands, even the circular dated 4th April also stands. Only thing according to me, of course, what government will do, I will not be able to tell you. But according to me, this revocation order means revocation order under what circumstances? Revocation order फक्त inform करूना म्हणूनच pass करतात. What about false statement? False statement करून जर तुवें passport घेतला जाल्यार what about that? Is that passport not revoked? what about
Whether
fraud?
can that person go for
What-
OCI का म्हणता तुम्ही?
Correct. So can that person, एकदा जर त्यांनी सांगले revocation order should be taken as a surrender order म्हणून, then all those people, so therefore a clarification and a corrigendum in detail would be required to say that only if your passport is revoked for the purpose of non-surrender as required under section 12A, and that you have not done it within 3 months as required,
Yeah.
and if you have taken longer, then you pay the required penalty, and in only that case the revocation order should be taken.
Because of the High Court order, Siddharth Bab, this is a very interesting, but we'll go deeper into it. But आज जेन्ना High Court order आसा, my question is, आज समजा एक मनीस गेलो OCI अप्लाय करपाक आपल्याले रिवोकेशन सर्टिफिकेट घेवन, ताका OCI मेळटलें काय मेळची ना?
For now, High
Yeah.
Court has said consider it. Does not mean that consider favorably.
Okay.
In accordance with law, whatever you feel, whatever is your interpretation, pass order. High Court has not said that the passport should be renewed or OCI card should be granted. It should be considered, that they will consider with respect to the what are the circumstances under which his passport has been revoked, and what would be the ambit of memorandum of 4th April. With these two things will be considered, and appropriate order will be passed. But as far as Thomas Fernandes is concerned,
Yeah.
it is not as if he has made a false statement. It is
Yeah.
not, his case does not come under those fabrication of evidence, providing
there is no
false-
malice.
There is no malice.
Yeah.
So therefore, he may not be ultimately hit, but
Yeah.
for the purpose of that, as per High Court order, it needs consideration. It can't be said that no, I have made now as per High Court order, it has to be
just
granted.
because your passport is revoked, you can't apply. अशी म्हणून जाय ना.
No, you can apply, but
Yeah.
does not mean it has to be granted favorably.
But also it means that तू अप्लायच करपाक शकना अशें ना.
No, that nobody says. You can
Yeah.
of course apply for an
Yeah,
OCI.
Iris Bab, this is a very critical question. और आता बाबा की घेता हाजेर. सिद्धार्थ बाब म्हणटा की the reason behind your revocation needs to be specified. नाल्यार कोणाचोय पासपोर्ट खंयच्याय जर फॉल्स इन्फॉर्मेशन दिली म्हणून रिवोक जाता, तो फाल्यां वचून OCI कार्ड जर मागपाक लागलो, जाल्यार मागीर कशें जातलें?
No, that circular that has been issued, the first circular, says that revocation certificate will be considered as a surrender certificate. Because the law as it stands is that you cannot apply for OCI without a surrender certificate. So, that is the reason now that the Honorable High Court has said.
No, revocation certificate ची कितें? करता म्हणटा की फाल्यां जर
no.
रिवोक पासपोर्ट फॉल्स इन्फॉर्मेशन दिलें म्हणून समजा रिवोक जाला
No,
पासपोर्ट.
every case would have to be seen within the facts and circumstances of the case.
Okay.
But that circular which says that revocation certificate be considered as a surrender certificate, I think the central government will stand by that once they study the matter further, and this issue should be resolved.
तुमकां तातूंत भितर हो प्रॉब्लेम दिसना की चड स्पेसिफिकेशन जावपा जाय की रिवोकेशन ऑफ which passports, what circumstances, reasons behind that
Of course, if you
revocation.
have committed some fraud,
Yeah.
if you have suppressed some information in your passport application, whatever,
Yeah.
for those reasons, of course, the central government would be right in revoking your passport because giving any false information or suppressing any information and obtaining a passport by giving false information is a serious offense. But things would have to be seen in the fact and circumstances of each case.
राधा बाब वो इंटरेस्टिंग पॉइंट असा की डिटेलिंग जावपाक जाय. हाव आर यू लुकिंग एट इट? कारण जर डिटेलिंग जाली ना जाल्यार इट इज ऑल परवेसिव काइंड ऑफ ऑर्डर.
See, this circular,
Yeah.
to my mind, is only in respect of passports revoked because you have obtained foreign citizenship. This circular only pertains to that, not in respect of revoking a passport for other reasons. So therefore, if a passport is revoked because you have acquired foreign citizenship, this circular would apply.
Okay.
But there is again another thing. You see now all this giving false information. If there is false information, question is whether that information is false as far as obtaining Portuguese citizenship is concerned. You see what the passport officer seems to have done. You have registered your birth, transcribed your birth in Portugal and not mentioned it, and therefore you have given false information. The whole problem is merely registration of birth. Does it amount to acquiring foreign nationality? And if you have not mentioned that, does it amount to suppression? Now, this can only be determined by the Union Ministry, under different rules.
Correct.
Have I made myself clear?
Yes.
So therefore, if a person's passport is revoked because he has inscribed his birth in Portugal, then the question of this would not arise of revoking passport. According to me, until it is decided by the competent authority that he has obtained Portuguese nationality.
सिद्धार्थ, इज अ व्हेरी इंटरेस्टिंग पॉइंट जो राधाबाब करतात. फाल्यां जर तो पासपोर्ट ऑफिसर म्हणटा की बर्थ ट्रान्सक्राइब करप म्हळ्यारच हायडिंग ऑफ इन्फॉर्मेशन, कन्सिलमेंट ऑफ इन्फॉर्मेशन ऑर फॉल्स इन्फॉर्मेशन, जाल्यार मागीर कशें करपाचें?
Absolutely, passport officer is absolutely and 100% right there. Registration of birth under Portuguese National Birth Registration Act of 2010 itself is a proof of citizenship of that country. That is clear as far as that talk. पयलींचे तुम्ही ते बिलेत मेळटाले ते आता ते सेपरेट प्रोसिजर केला तांच्यांनी. So now, second, passport officer is merely revoking your passport. Passport is a travel document, not a certificate of citizenship. No way in his order or anything or in correspondence he said that I am revoking your citizenship act, your citizenship. He does not say that. Revoking of citizenship is something that can be done only and only by the Home Ministry, not by a passport officer. So let us be clear about this position. Passport officer, in accordance, because passport rules requires that moment you acquire citizenship of some other country, you have to inform, you have to surrender your passport. You don't do it, revocation follows. Passport officer is absolutely right there.
भाई हे सॉल्व कशें करप? तो जर सगळें सारकें आसा जाल्यार सिद्धार्थ बाबे सॉल्व कशें करप?
You ask me, I will tell you. That revocation order must be taken as surrender certificate. However, that revocation order circumstance has to be specified.
Correct.
Come out with a very comprehensive memorandum, and in accordance with it, you dispose of all the cases.
तुम्ही म्हणतात फक्त
99.9. I'm recusing myself to say 100%, but 99.999% in Goan cases, it is genuine cases, and everybody should get an OCI.
तुम्ही म्हणतात बेसिकली फक्त ह्यो ज्यो केसीस आसात जंय मॅलिस ना, इग्नोरन्स आसा, थंय ही
technical violation.
मेकळीक दिवची म्हणटा तुम्ही.
Yes, technical violation must be condoned, and in the interest, and it is in interest of nation also. If they are going abroad, if they are bringing foreign revenue, it will only help us.
Okay. आयुष बाब, तुमकां हे गजाल पडटा जी सिद्धार्थ सांगता ती?
I mean, total consonance of what Advocate Siddharth says, because these are all genuine cases, and government should have a look at this. The Goa government, along with the central government, should sit across and find a solution and lay this issue once and all for us.
Because this is the most practical solution.
Very practical solution.
Very practical. आयचो विषय आम्ही इतल्याचेर सोपयतात. कायद्याची विस्कटावणी, सर्क्युलरांची विस्कटावणी आनी तांचे परिणाम हे तुमचे मुखार दवरपाचो प्रयत्न केल्लो आमी, आनी म्हाका दिसता आमच्या तिनूय एक्सपर्टांनी खूब बरे रितीन ही वस्तुस्थिती तुमचे मुखार मांडल्या. राधाबाब, सिद्धार्थ बाब, आयुष बाब, थँक्स अ लॉट फॉर पार्टिसिपेटिंग. आणि इलेक्शनाची परत वारे रिझल्टाची सुरू जाता तेन्ना परत मेळयाच, पण आज इतल्याचेर थांबता. पळयत रावात प्रुडंट. नमस्कार.